Meeting of October the 3rd, 2022, number 15 to order. Statement of notice, please.
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, or remotely via Zoom, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 6, 2022, posted on the Municipal Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Krenzel is not here yet. Councilwoman Ballas.
Here.
Councilman Gindy.
Here.
Councilman Gerczynski.
Here.
Councilwoman Mira is absent. Councilman Oliveira.
Here.
Council President Ciula.
Here. Please rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
And there it is.
And here he is. Okay, there's no proclamations, honors, or awards, presentations. Nothing on the agenda session. First is ordinance by second reading, 2022-32.
Council President, let's do this now.
You want,
Oh, for the,
you want to go into close first?
Executive.
we have to
Executive.
go into executive session, resolution 2022-262.
Resolution of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the entrance into executive session. Whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances, and whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of South River are of the opinion such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore, be it, and it is hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of South River in the county of Middlesex of the state of New Jersey, that the public be excluded upon the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be so discussed is as follows. Contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that such a record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required.
Make a motion to accept?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Gerczynski, second by Councilwoman Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carry. Shall return.
Borough Clerk, let the record show that Mayor Krenzel is
Yeah.
in, 703.
You're done.
You let your
Bad
couple leave
numbers,
the
that's
sign.
what everybody's really settling for. Some combination.
Newer copies. the
Now we
daily-
can do ordinance.
We have a motion to go back into.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gindy, seconded by Mr. Oliveira. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it.
Sorry,
Okay,
who was the first?
Mr. Gindy?
Thank you.
So we've gone into closed session already, so we don't have to do that at the end of the meeting. Now we'll go into ordinance, second reading, public hearing. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance 2022-32, an ordinance to amend the code of the Borough of South River, Chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, by amending Section 193-31.1, Schedule 2A, handicap parking thereof.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Ciula, seconded by Mr. Oliveira. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public. You can come forward. Please give your name and address, and you can ask any questions or make any comments concerning the ordinance establishing handicap parking on Willett Avenue. On first call, second call, third call.
To close?
Motion has been made to close by Mrs. Ballas, seconded by Mr. Gerczynski. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance?
The ordinance?
The ordinance has been moved by Mrs. Ballas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Gerczynski. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindy?
Yes.
Councilman Gerczynski?
Yes.
Councilman Oliveira?
Yes.
Council President Ciula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2022-33, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Ciula to waive the full reading, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, to anyone who wishes to come forth, please give your name and address. You can ask any questions or make any comments concerning this ordinance establishing no parking anytime on William Street, Bricktown Road, and Johnson Place. First call, second call, third call.
To close.
Motion has been made by Mr. Gindi to close, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance?
To adopt.
The ordinance has been moved by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Ballas. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance first reading by title only. Ordinance 2022-34. Madam Clerk?
An ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 99 entitled Alarm Systems.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2022-34 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law with a second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on October the 24th, 2022 by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Second.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Ciula, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
We will revisit this on October the 24th. Moving on to our reports, as we traditionally do. Mr. Koch, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The 2020 and 2021 roads is done except for punch list. The contractor did go out and do some of the lawn restoration, but with the heavy rain, I understand it washed out, so we'll have to get them back out there to move on that. The 2022 roads, I received the contracts back from the contractor today. I put them all together with the bonds and insurance. I prepared a letter, signed it. I don't know if the borough attorney got it yet or not, but we'll send it to you electronically, and I'll deliver the 6 sets to the borough. If everything's in order, then they can be executed, and I can schedule a pre-construction meeting. 2023 local aid, I think in the next month, we should hear announcements regarding that. Substation work, the SCADA system, we have chosen a system. We got a price for it from High Energy Electric. We haven't heard back from the town of Butler yet, so we haven't been in touch with them, but haven't heard back from them. I'm going to give that a little time to see if there's anything more we can learn from their system and maybe get a better price. And if not, then we'll move forward with this one. And the well number 2 replacement, the air gap and the backflow preventer, we have a substantial jump on the design of that. We propose to put that out as one contract because the DEP has put deadlines on both of them as it related to the well number 2 startup. And then we'll follow that up with the sodium hypochlorite storage improvements as a separate contract. And I'll be working with the water department to visit the homes for the lead and galvanized services. There's 24 of them on a list. And then I can give the borough a proposal to put together bid documents for that to get them addressed once we know exactly how many and where the meters are, things of that nature. And that is it, sir.
Any questions for the engineer? Hearing none. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Mr. Zenga.
Couple items on the agenda. The first is in Chapter 159 for additional Office on Aging grants received. We also have an agreement with the electric workers, IBEW, for a new contract from 1/1/23 to 12/31/26. There's a resolution for a supplemental assessment for the Middlesex GIF. The first payment is actually on the bill list for $99,000. The resolution was required if you want to enter into a payment plan. Apply for the first payment in this year's budget, which is good. Lastly, the 2021 audit has been completed and find the affidavit of certification in your mailbox. A couple of good things to highlight. It's an unqualified opinion, which is the best opinion the borough can get. If you're unqualified or qualified, you got unqualified. There are no recommendations. excellent. And I gotta give credit to a lot of department heads also. You know, departments do a good job. The auditor goes into every single department. You know, public works, planning, zoning, the clerk's office, you know, it goes into everything. It's doing everybody bad. Another good thing is that all the numbers you work with on the 2022 budget, nothing changed from the 21 financial statement that we followed, then goes to the audit report, every single number stayed the same, so not one thing changed. Long year, you know, Bible numbers at least. So I want to give the department heads some credit though, because they go in and check it. Look for stuff and try to find something and really found nothing.
Very
A
good.
lot of credit to everybody.
Question, I guess either to the clerk or yourself. I noticed that there are 3 copies of the certification concerning that we've all reviewed the audit. Should we sign all 3?
No, just
No,
the top
the top
copy.
one? Okay, then. Very good. Anything for Mr. Zenga? We're graced by our fire chief. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. So far, doing well. Comfortable, sir.
Thank you. Anything for our fire chief? Moving on to Mr. Soares.
Yes, but one thing, next Monday, October 10th, closed for the holiday. There'll be no.
Okay. Yes, that'll be Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. So it's both that day. Anything for Mr. Soares? No. We thank the clerk for stepping in for your kindness of doing that. Anything on the legal side?
I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
Mr. Lundensky?
Yeah, Mayor, the only thing I have is the contractor started working on the park improvements. He's put the equipment in at Fitzpatrick's Field. I don't think he's finished the surface yet because of the weather. And from there, he's going to move on to Leonardine Park. So we should have them done in October, completed.
Excellent.
That's all I
Very
have.
good. Okay, anything for RBA? No? Mr. Gindi, anything to report here?
Just next planning board is October 18th. Next zoning board is October 25th. I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. We have a lot of big projects coming down the pike, a lot of nice applications, so you should come out and see what this town may be looking at in the future. So I have.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Ballas?
The Board of Health, I attended their meeting last week. They're still looking for anyone who wants to help in organizing the Frost on the Pumpkin for next October. They really want to have that go off again. I know they're in talking with the police and everything. They're also having a cat food drive with donations that can be made at the municipal building on Washington Street. And they're having a paint party scheduled for November 10th from 7 to 9 at the Ria Mar. Soda, appetizers, and desserts included. Ticket availability is limited to 40 spots at $25 a piece. I know last time it sold out in like 2 days. It was done. If you're interested, just get in touch with Michelle down at the municipal building. I also have from my cultural arts and heritage, just going off my phone if I can read it. On Sunday, October 16th, they're going to have the South River Main Street house walking tour. It's going to be led by Brian Armstrong of the South River Historical Society. You will hear stories about the homes of Wright, Clayton, Whitehead, the doctors and dentists, barbershops, churches, and more. It will start at the museum on Main Street at 12 noon. It's free to all. And lastly, I know we talked about the Knock Registry. I got my form today. You can also do it on the Borough website under Quick Links. And once you fill it out, nothing is made, public. There's no personal identification. It's just your name and your address. And it's just, so that it can prevent canvassing, soliciting, peddling, vending, or attempted door-to-door sales on your own premises. So if you want to do that, fill it out down at the Borough Clerk's office, and they will issue you a no solicitation sticker, which I know are here, but we have to find them. They're in there. Okay. That's it.
Mr. Ciula?
Thank you. EDC had their meeting, and all went well. We're progressing with Main Street. The Alliance has filed all their information with the state, and we're just waiting back for the EIN numbers. The officers are all set already with the trustees, so once we get that, we can start looking for grants and start doing what we have to do with the Alliance. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Olivero.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Parks and Rec. I just want to give everyone an update on the fall season. For the fall, we had 17 kids registered for T-ball, which is a big deal considering the number that we usually have in the past. But what's more exciting is that for the first time we ran fall baseball. 7U, we had 19 registered, and 12U, we had 14 signed up. We do want to reach out and say thank you to the South River Little League for allowing us to use their complex. In terms of upcoming events and registrations, we are taking Zumba signups, and they're set to begin on October 17th, and the class will run for 10 weeks. Our annual trunk and treat will be October 23rd from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on St. Mark's Academy for the Christian Academy on Morningside Avenue. And backed by popular demand, our Halloween decorating contest will be judged on October 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. In the next week or so, today they released the flyers for wrestling and basketball. So if you are interested in winter sports, please make sure you sign up so we get an idea. Last year we had a great turnout with basketball and wrestling, so we want to make sure we're able to reserve the appropriate amount of space. This morning I had the opportunity to sit down with Superintendent Zurcher, and one of the topics was the referendum that's coming up. I've received a couple of phone calls from Borough residents asking questions. And being that this is a Board of Ed referendum, I thought it was important to get some answers. So in meeting with Superintendent Zurcher, one of the things that she asked is to please direct our residents to the Board of Ed website. Once you go onto the Board of Ed website, you scroll down past the picture, right in the middle, you're going to see a referendum tab. If you have any questions, please, and this was stressed, reach out to the Board of Ed office. They are more than happy to answer any questions that residents have. You can also email referendum@srivernj.org, and that's REFERENDUMINFO@srivernj.org. In addition, she also informed me that the referendum vote will be taking place on January 24th. So there will be a secondary vote on the 24th to see if these items are going to pass. In terms of early dismissal and school closures, I know it's been mentioned, October 10th is Columbus Day, so there is no school. And on October 7th, the Friday prior, school is in early dismissal. And one of the great items for the Board of Ed is our annual homecoming game. That is scheduled for October 22nd, so please come out and support our Rams. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gurczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. On Columbus Day, the Office on Aging will be closed, which is next Monday. They are offering a bivalent booster vaccine clinic for the COVID-19. If you desire this particular vaccination, we want you to call ahead to schedule an appointment. Let's see. They are also having an Armchair Travel Club, which will be on the 20th of October. It is $10. It's prepaid. The trips are very good. They're, what you call it? Gosh, word escapes me right now too. But they're very good from what I hear and everything too. It's a virtual travel. And what they do is they'll show you the different areas and what have you, and it's quite a good deal. The monthly mingle, and it's $10 prepaid and to schedule in advance. Also, the monthly mingle, which is at the Human Services Building this month, because it's a little bit cold out, and that would be on the 31st, and that is also a prepaid event. And you should call up the Senior Center at 732-257-2340, Monday through Friday, between 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. to find out about any events or anything that's going on. With that, I thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll deliver my comments at the end of the meeting. Moving on from our reports, public comments. Please come forward. You can ask any questions, make any comments. You will be given 10 minutes to ask the questions or make the comments. Please give your name and address. On first call, second call, third call.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Moving on to the consent resolutions. Madam Clerk?
Whereas Resolution 2022-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize a consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. 249, certify the 2021 audit. 250, enter into an agreement with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. 251, authorize Chapter 159 insertion for Office on Aging. 252, authorizing 2022 salaries of certain officials and employees. 253, financing plan for supplemental assessment from the Middlesex County Joint Insurance Fund. 254, authorizing the requisition of funds for payment to the custodian of school monies. 255, authorizing tax collector to refund double payments. 256, property tax refund for a disabled veteran. 257, resolution authorizing certain utility refunds. 258, authorizing a recreation refund. 259, authorizing conditional appointment of Consuelo Perez as Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officer. 260, accepting September 12th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. 261, authorizing the bills and claims list.
Your pleasure on the resolutions.
Consent resolution.
Second.
Motion has been made by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gerchensky?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes, with 261, abstained from 22-02319, 01682, and 02296.
Very good. Consent resolutions have been adopted and passed. There is no new business. There is no executive session. Our governing body comments for the good and welfare of the borough. I'll begin with Mr. Gerchensky.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to thank our police, our RWJ, our fire department, and especially congratulations to the fire department on your 50-year club. And the DPW for all the work that they do to help protect us and keep us clear and everything else. It's been raining for the past few days, and it looks like it's going to continue on. Just be mindful of some of the deep water and everything too if you're driving, and for children, because they could dash out at any time. With that, just stay dry, stay safe. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Olivera.
I want to just start off by thanking Joe and Art. I know your jobs aren't easy and very ungrateful, but I think, the audit speaks volumes of what the town is able to do. It speaks volumes of the leadership that's put in the directors to do this. And, it's awesome to see that for another year, there is no recommendations and we're getting the ball rolling. I also want to thank the both of you guys for working on the parks. If you haven't had the opportunity, Fitzpatrick is not done, but it's going to look awesome. Once that is done, we'll be able to move on to Shine Fine. I know the saying is we don't get parks done, but that's clearly the opposite. Just drive by them and you see that, parks are being improved. They're looking great, and little by little, we're going to get to every single park that we can. So just want to thank the mayor, council for their commitment to getting the parks upgraded, a commitment for making sure that the rec department is in a good place. You guys can see by the numbers, we are, servicing more children. We're creating more programs, and that's really a testament to what we've committed to. So I look forward to seeing that grow and continue to grow. And I just want to thank you guys again for everything. That's all I have here.
Okay, Mrs. Ballas.
I just also want to thank the first responders for all their hard work, and Joe and Art. I got a chance to drive by Fitzpatrick. It looks really nice. You keep calling it Shine Fine. I will forever call it Leonard Dean.
Sorry.
So that's coming along nice. And I don't know if I haven't turned my heat on yet because I'm a holdout. But when you do, make sure all your equipment is safe and cleaned. And we don't want the fire department having to make any unnecessary trips and putting anybody in harm's way. I just keep putting blankets on. So So staying warm and dry. The last couple days been really busy by the schools because of the weather. So please, please be careful on how people are exiting their vehicles and the kids are crossing the streets. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gindi.
Thank you. 'Tis the season. It's fall. Well, it seems like winter. Leaves are coming down. Please remember, if you need leaf bags, go down to the Department of Public Works, get your bags that are entitled to you. We are not putting them in plastic bags. On October 29th, it's going to be National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, which is going to be held right here at the police department from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Whatever medications, drugs, no questions asked, please turn them in, and it will be disposed of the proper way. It's getting cold. Dress warmly. Be careful with kids. They're out playing and they're having a good time. Drive carefully, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Council President Shula?
Thank you. Just to reiterate, to Art and Joe, great job. Our department heads, great job on the audit. No recommendations. Again, that definitely says something right there. And just to go what Age had said, on Monday, the 10th, the DPW will be closed. So just to let everybody reiterate on that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Again, also, thank you. Excellent job with the audit. It's truly amazing thing. Year after year, we're doing a good job here because there's no recommendations to be made. We're doing everything right. And our auditor, he's a stickler for details. So thank you all for your good work. Just some of the things that are going on. I always like to, talk about South River as a happening place. Drew Pearson Day, really great fun, great weather. The man is an Energizer bunny. He's in his 70s, and yet he managed to get up in the Saturday morning after a night of going to a football game in the morning, breakfast with the team. And of course, the moment he got out, he was swamped with people. We had a ceremony. You can see the sign, Drew Pearson Hall of Fame Way, up on Montgomery Street there. During the game, he was out in the sun for the entire up to halftime. Gave him a proclamation after that. Then into the evening, he had a party. I mean, truly one of our great citizens there. So good time was had by all, and you could have attended. It was all free. Something else that is free, you can join the fire company, the fire department, for free. Sunday, I attended Reliable Fire Company's 25 and 50-year member celebrations. Ziggy Bomba, Thomas Venticki, Peter, they celebrated 50 years. Peter Venticki and David Hydrukowitz, 25 years. These are men that are working hard to protect you people. And the fire department is looking for good people. And, think about it. Somebody, you can do it. It's tough. Okay, you got to be trained. You got to work. You got to know your stuff. But if you want to contribute, bipartisan, nonpartisan way of doing it, go with the fire department. It's a good thing. Also, that we had the Mexican flag raising. That was nice. That was 1 week after the Honduran's flag raising. So, yes, we're still doing that. If you're interested, contact the Human Relations Committee. I reiterate the Home Street walking tour only because it's done by Brian Armstrong, and he's always fun. He knows his histories, he's humorous, and he doesn't cover up the scandals. In other words, he does lots of gossip, and that's a good thing. So it's fun. It's quite a history. We're an old town. Lots of things to learn. Homecoming, October 22nd, also free. You get a free parade. Come up to the game. Our next meeting is on October the 24th. And in between, happy Columbus Day and a happy Indigenous Peoples Day. So we're keeping things eagle-eyed there. Is there anything else to come before us? Hearing none.
Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
adjourned by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Ciulo. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned.